No one likes sitting for a 20-minute video to tell you about 30 seconds worth of information, so I'm not going to force that on you today. I just don't want you missing out on big things that are coming this week. In fact, one of them's already here. But if you've got an alt you want to level, or you've already started one, this is the perfect time to do it. And if you fancy doing an earthen, because you haven't done an earthen before, doing it this week and with the exploration like bonus XP that earthen get anyway, it is so fast. Not only that, you're going to be able to get extra bits of gear really easily and even get some extra points in your professions because, yes, the first thing that I want to tell you about is Darkmoon Faire. So Darkmoon Faire's back this week and you're going to be able to get some profession skill from doing the profession quests. You're also going to get a few profession knowledge points as well to be able to spend. And ultimately, all you need to do is look here and you'll see exactly what you need to go and make sure you've got before you head over to the Darkmoon Faire. Now, the reason I say it's going to be really good for leveling alts is twofold. Firstly, you can get a 10% XP buff. Of course, this is 10% XP and reputation, so it's a good time to go around and do side quests. You know, just finish off those zones to get your renown levels up. But ultimately, I'm only bothered about the XP because I'm leveling a DK at the moment. Now, when the 20th anniversary comes, there is going to be even more ways of getting bonus XP. But if you're impatient like me, I don't want to wait for that. I want to level 1 now. I mentioned doing it as earthen, and earthen is just so fast to level. And again, a bit twofold, because firstly, just flying around using the add-on called Universal Explorer. On your map, it will show you roughly where you need to go just to uncover all of your exploration areas. Now, this gives massive XP, and you can see there was actually 2 of us flying around, and we were just taking it in turns doing a zone at a time. And yeah, it's just super fast. Now, I did say twofold, and it's kind of irrelevant about the Explorer thing. It's just if you're going to start a new character, you might as well do an earthen. The big thing is that Timewalking is back. Now, if you don't know, Timewalking is just such a ridiculously fast way to level, but not only level, get a couple of bits of gear as well. So Timewalking that kicks off this week is going to be Ulduar and Wrath of the Lich King Timewalking dungeons. So you're going to get a quest to actually clear multiple Timewalking dungeons, but if you're a level 80, you don't need to do that because you'll just pick up the quest to go and clear Ulduar instead. And once you kill the 5 bosses, that's also going to complete that quest. So you're going to get 2 quests done and you're going to get a champion piece of gear and a hero piece of gear. Of course, you're also going to be in champion bits of gear that drop from the bosses if you're lucky enough to get loot. But in terms of leveling, smashing through the time-walking versions of Wrath of the Lich King dungeons, grabbing that 10% extra XP from the Darkmoon Faire as well is going to be insane. And like I say, if you're a DPS specifically queuing where you have got 5-10 minutes between queues popping maybe, just fly around and get some XP as an earthen. Now, on the 2nd of October, there was also a hotfix that may have just kind of slid under the radar because it was kind of just tacked on at the end of M+ fixes and stuff like that. But if during the Black Temple time walking you got a ring like I did, I got a 610 hero ring, which was a really good ring. The thing that really let it down is I could only put an enchant on it. I couldn't actually put jeweler settings in it. So just by using this ring, I was actually losing out on 2 sockets, which was very irritating, but they've got that fixed ready for Ulduar. So that is now in place. You can't do it on gear that you've already obtained though. That's the only issue. So I still can't put gem sockets in this ring, but any future gear we get in Ulduar, you will be able to. So that does actually make the jewelry that you could potentially get even more valuable now, because the only thing that let them down was the fact that you couldn't put sockets in time warped gear. There's also been an absolute ton of class changes. Now, I'm not going to break them all down because I don't want to just sit here and read through a blue post that you could just have a look through yourself, because odds are you're only interested in 1 or 2 classes. But some real key takeaways is the fact that even Holy is massively underrepresented in M+, because well, let's face it, it's more or less just all Resto Shamans. They've actually had all healing reduced by 5%, which kind of sucks a little bit. Shadow Priest has pretty much just been buffed across the board. Resto Shaman has lost some of that passive AoE in M+ from Acid Rain because the damage has been reduced by 20%. Overall, quite honestly, the majority of all of the class changes are buffs, so there's nothing really to worry about. There are some small nerfs to certain specs, but honestly, when you look through it, the vast majority is just increases, not decreases. I'll put a link to the post in the description anyway, so you can just have a look at your class or spec and go and have a look for yourself. But that's it. Time walking, make sure you get your 2 items from the quest and hopefully get lucky and grab some items in the raid as well. For ults, it's going to be fantastic, even though you can only do it once, which is kind of a bummer. But there are some particularly good trinkets in here, and to be fair, if you played Classic recently, then you'll know what these trinkets are. Things like Flare of the Heavens with some crit and obviously a massive amount of intellect on proc. Even Eye of the Broodmother, which is just a stacking intellect buff with a load of crit. And of course, even some of the weapons are going to be pretty decent because they are champion tracks, so these are going to be some of the easiest items that you're going to be able to get your hands on. And of course, it all scales, so what item level you're in is irrelevant. I saw loads of people talking about Black Temple being like, oh, good luck trying to get invited if you're under 600 eye level. I was going in Black Temple freshly dinged with practically no eye level and getting invited because it just doesn't actually matter. So as always, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.